Last week, I stood in line at Walmart behind a woman about my age, maybe 70, quiet, polite. She had a small basket, bread, eggs, a little container of yogurt, one banana. The cashier rang it up. $19.40. The woman opened her wallet, counted again, and very quietly, without making a scene, she said, "Could you take the yogurt off, please?" I think about her every time I open my fridge. If you've ever stood in a grocery store in 2026 and done the math in your head, wondering how you're supposed to eat well on a fixed income, cooking for just yourself, I want you to know something today. You can eat real food, hot meals, fresh ingredients, 21 full meals a week on just $5 a day. Not ramen, not canned soup, not the same boring chicken breast every night. I've been doing it myself for 2 years now. I'm cooking for one, just like maybe you are. And today I'm going to walk you through exactly how. The 7-day meal plan, the shopping list with real prices from Walmart and ALDI, 5 rules that make all of this possible. There's also one mistake I see seniors making in the grocery store almost every single day. A mistake that costs hundreds of dollars a month, and most folks don't even know they're doing it. I'll tell you what it is toward the end of this video. It surprised me when I realized I was doing it too.
So pour yourself a cup of coffee, get comfortable, and let's talk about food. Now, before I show you the meal plan and the shopping list, I want to share 5 little rules with you. These are the rules I learned the hard way, by wasting money, by throwing food away, by feeling defeated standing in my own kitchen. Once these clicked for me, everything changed. Rule number 1, shop the outside walls, but live in the pantry. Walk into any grocery store. The fresh food, vegetables, eggs, milk, meat, that's all on the outer walls. That's where you go for variety and freshness. But the real money savings, they live in the middle aisles. Beans, rice, oats, pasta, canned tomatoes. A bag of dried beans costs maybe $1.50 and feeds you for a week. A pound of rice, same story. These pantry foods are how our grandmothers fed entire families through hard times. They still work today. Here's something that surprised me when I learned it. The average American senior throws away about 30% of the fresh food they buy. 30%. That's like buying $10 worth of vegetables and putting 3 of those dollars straight in the trash.
Pantry foods don't do that. They wait for you. For weeks, for months. Rule number 2, buy whole, never pre-cut. I want to show you something that made me angry the first time I noticed it. A whole rotisserie chicken at Walmart, 2026 prices, is $6.50. That's 4 to 5 meals. Right next to it, pre-cooked, pre-sliced chicken strips. Same chicken, just cut up. $8 for 1 meal. You're not paying for chicken. You're paying for somebody else to use a knife. A bag of whole carrots, $1.50. A bag of pre-cut carrot sticks, $3.50. Same carrots, just chopped. When you buy whole, you cut your grocery bill nearly in half. That's not exaggeration. That's math. Rule number 3, 1 protein, 3 meals. This is the rule that changed cooking for one for me forever. Because the biggest problem when you live alone is proteins come in big packages. You buy a pound of ground turkey. You can't eat a pound of ground turkey on a Tuesday, so you cook it all and eat the same thing for 4 days. Boring, sad.
The trick is, you cook the whole pound at once, but you split it into 3 meals across the week. Different flavors, different sides, different feelings. Monday, it's a stir fry. Wednesday, it's a soup. Friday, it's stuffed in a baked potato. Same meat, 3 meals, 0 boredom, 0 waste. Rule number 4, freeze in single portions. Your freezer is your best friend. This is the one nobody tells seniors. Your freezer is the most powerful tool in your kitchen when you cook for one. Bread going stale? Slice and freeze it. Pop a slice in the toaster? It's like new. Soup leftovers? Freeze in single cup containers. That's lunch for next Wednesday. Bananas turning brown? Peel and freeze them. They're for smoothies. Cheese on sale? Buy 2, freeze 1. If something can be frozen, freeze it. You'll throw away half as much food. And on the days you don't feel like cooking, and there will be days, there's already a meal waiting. Rule number 5, and this is the big one. Plan 1 shopping trip a week. Just 1.
Here's why this matters more than any other rule. Every time you walk into a grocery store, you spend money you didn't plan to spend. The store is designed that way. You walk in for milk, you walk out with $20 of things you didn't need. A study from Cornell University followed shoppers over a year. People who shopped once a week with a written list spent 43% less than people who made multiple unplanned trips. 43% on the same food. For the average senior on a fixed income, that's the difference between eating well and eating ramen. 1 written list, 1 trip. That's it. Now, let me show you the actual meals. All right, grab a pen and a piece of paper because this is the part you'll want to write down. Here's exactly what goes in your cart for 1 person for a whole week. I'm using real 2026 prices from Walmart and ALDI. Your prices may be a few cents different depending on where you live, but this should get you very close. We'll start in the produce section.
1 dozen large eggs. And let me pause here for a second. Eggs in 2026 are running about $3.50 a dozen. I know, 10 years ago they were $1.29. I remember. But here's the thing. Even at $3.50, a single egg is 29 cents. And that egg is a complete... Into the cart goes a bag of carrots, $1.50. A whole head of cabbage, $2. That cabbage is going to surprise you. We'll get 6 or 7 meals out of it. 2 onions, $1.50 together. A bag of apples, $4. 2 ripe bananas, 50 cents. Now, over to the freezer aisle. This is where the smart shopper lives. 1 bag of frozen mixed vegetables, $2. 1 bag of frozen berries, $3.50. These 2 bags will last us all week, and they don't go bad in the back of the fridge. 1 sweet potato, $1. 1 bunch of fresh spinach, $2.50. That's all your produce, $22 total. Quick interruption. I want you to think about that number for a second. $22 in fresh fruits and vegetables for an entire week. Think about that the next time someone tells you eating healthy on a budget is impossible. It's not impossible. You just need a list. Now, proteins. Pound of ground turkey, $4.50. This will become 3 different meals. I'll show you how. 1 whole rotisserie chicken, $6.50. Yes, the already cooked one from the deli. We'll get 4 meals out of that bird. 1 can of tuna, $1.50. 1 block of cheddar cheese, $3.50. $16 for protein, all week. Now, the pantry. And listen carefully here because this part is important. These items don't get bought every week. They last 3 or 4 weeks. So when you see the total at the end, please remember, most of this bill is one-time stocking, not weekly cost. Bag of rice, $2.50. Canister of oats, $3. Box of pasta, $1.50. Can of black beans, $1. Can of diced tomatoes, $1. Jar of peanut butter, $3. $12 total. But spread out over a month, that's only $3 a week. And finally, the extras. Loaf of bread, $2.50. Quart of milk, $2. 1 large container of plain Greek yogurt, $4.50. $9. Now, the moment of truth. Add it all up. Your first week comes to $51. Wait, I can hear you saying it. That's more than $35. You promised $5 a day. Stay with me. Here's the math nobody explains. That $51 includes a full month of pantry staples. The rice, the oats, the peanut butter, those last through week 4. Starting next week, your bill drops to $32. Week 3, same. Week 4, same. Average it out across the month, and you land exactly on $5 a day. Sometimes a little less. I promise you, the math works. $12 total, but spread out over a month, that's only $3 a week. And finally, the extras. Loaf of bread, $2.50. Quart of milk, $2. One large container of plain Greek yogurt, $4.50. $9. Now, the moment of truth. Add it all up. Your first week comes to $51. Wait, I can hear you saying it. That's more than $35. You promised $5 a day. Stay with me. Here's the math nobody explains. That $51 includes a full month of pantry staples. The rice, the oats, the peanut butter, those last through week 4. Starting next week, your bill drops to $32. Week 3, same. Week 4, same. Average it out across the month, and you land exactly on $5 a day. Sometimes a little less. I promise you, the math works.
Now, the fun part. Let me walk you through a real week. 7 days, 21 meals, all under $5 a day. I'll tell you which days are my favorites and which day became the secret weapon of my whole week. Monday, easing in. Breakfast is oatmeal with banana and peanut butter. Half a cup of oats simmered in a cup of milk until it's thick and creamy. Slice half a banana on top, add a heaping spoonful of peanut butter. Stir it in while it's warm so the peanut butter melts into the oats. 85 cents. I want to pause here. That breakfast, 85 cents, has 14 grams of protein, fiber, healthy fats, and potassium. A McDonald's coffee costs more than that breakfast. Just let that sink in. Lunch is tuna salad on toast. Half a can of tuna, a spoonful of mayo mixed in a small bowl. Spread on one slice of toasted bread. Carrot sticks on the side. $1.25. Dinner. And this is the meal that sets up your whole week. Rotisserie chicken with a baked sweet potato and sautéed spinach. A quarter of that chicken, about the size of your palm. One whole baked sweet potato and a handful of fresh spinach wilted in a hot pan with a clove of garlic. $2.75. Monday total, $4.85. Tuesday, the leftover magic begins. This is where the system starts working for you. Yesterday, you bought a chicken. Today, that chicken is going to feed you again. And again on Wednesday. And again on Thursday in soup form. Breakfast. Greek yogurt with thawed berries and a drizzle of honey. $1.10. This is your easiest breakfast of the week. 5 seconds to make. Lunch is a chicken salad wrap. Pull off a small handful of yesterday's chicken, mix with mayo, layer it with spinach in a slice of bread or a tortilla. $1.50. Dinner is turkey and cabbage stir-fry. Brown about a third of your ground turkey in a pan, add a quarter of the cabbage, shredded, half an onion, a splash of soy sauce. Serve it over warm rice. $2.40. Tuesday, $5 exactly. Wednesday, the best soup you'll make all year. Breakfast is 2 scrambled eggs, a slice of toasted bread, and a few apple slices. About $1. Lunch? And this might sound too simple, but trust me. Peanut butter and apple sandwich. 2 slices of bread, peanut butter, sliced apple right in the middle. Sweet, crunchy, filling. $1 even. Now, dinner. This is the meal I want you to pay attention to. Chicken and rice soup. Take whatever's left of your rotisserie chicken, including the bones. Put the bones in a pot with water, half an onion, a clove of garlic, and a pinch of salt. Simmer for 30 minutes. That broth is liquid gold. It would cost you $4 at the store, and you just made it from chicken bones. Strain it, add half a cup of rice, a sliced carrot, the leftover chicken meat. Simmer 15 more minutes. $2.50, and you'll have leftovers for tomorrow's lunch. Thursday, the easiest day of the week. Breakfast is oatmeal again, but this time with frozen berries and a dash of cinnamon instead of banana. Same oats, completely different feeling. 90 cents. Lunch, and this is the gift of yesterday's cooking. Last night's chicken soup. Even better today than it was yesterday. The flavors had time to settle in overnight. Cost you nothing extra. Free meal. Dinner is pasta with tomatoes and cheese. 2 ounces of pasta, that's about a handful, boiled and drained.
Warm half a can of diced tomatoes in a pan with a clove of garlic, a pinch of salt. Pour over the pasta. Sprinkle shredded cheddar on top. $1.75. Thursday total, $2.65. You read that right. $2.65 for the entire day. This is the day that brings your whole weekly average down. Every week needs a Thursday.
Friday, protein day. Breakfast, scrambled eggs with fresh spinach and a little melted cheese on top. $1.10. Lunch, turkey and bean bowl. Use the rest of your ground turkey from Tuesday's stir-fry, mix with half a can of black beans, a scoop of leftover rice, a splash of hot sauce. $1.85. Dinner is veggie fried rice with egg. Heat leftover rice in a pan with a handful of frozen mixed vegetables. Push it to one side, scramble an egg in the empty space, then mix it all together with a splash of soy sauce. $1.75. Friday total, $4.70. Saturday, comfort cooking day. This is my favorite day of the week. Saturdays are slow. You've got time, so we cook a little. Breakfast, banana pancakes. And here's the trick. 2 eggs and 1 ripe banana mashed together. That's the whole batter. No flour, no sugar, just eggs and banana mixed in a bowl, then poured in small rounds into a hot pan. They taste like real pancakes. About 85 cents. Lunch is a cheesy quesadilla. Take a slice of bread or a tortilla, fold in shredded cheddar and any leftover veggies you have. Pan grill it until the cheese melts and the bread gets crispy. $1.25. Dinner? Turkey cabbage rolls. The last of your ground turkey wrapped inside cabbage leaves, topped with the last of your diced tomatoes, baked in the oven for 30 minutes. This meal feels like a Sunday dinner. $2.75. Saturday total, $4.85. Sunday, your treat day. Every week needs a treat day, even on $5. Breakfast is a yogurt parfait. Layer Greek yogurt with oats and frozen berries in a tall glass. Beautiful enough for a restaurant. Costs you $1.30. Lunch, open-faced egg sandwich. 1 slice of toast, 1 fried egg right on top with the yolk still soft, a slice of melted cheese, a few spinach leaves. Eat it with a fork. $1.20. Dinner is a sweet potato and black bean bowl. Bake that second sweet potato. Split it open, top with the rest of your black beans, a dollop of sour cream or yogurt, a splash of hot sauce. $2.25. Sunday total, $4.75. Now let's add it all up. 21 meals, 7 days, real food every meal. Total cost, $31.30. $4.47 per day. You came in under budget. You ate protein every single day, vegetables every day, variety every day, and you didn't eat the same thing twice in a row. That's the magic of cooking for one with a plan. Now, let me share my own little secrets, things I've learned from years of cooking just for myself. None of these are in any cookbook. They came from real life. Secret number 1, the 1-2-3 egg trick. Eggs are the cheapest real protein in 2026, about 29 cents an egg. Get yourself into a rhythm. 1 egg for a quick breakfast on weekdays, 2 eggs for a light dinner when you don't feel like cooking, 3 eggs when you're baking something special on a weekend. Eggs never go to waste. They sit patiently in your fridge for 3 weeks. They're always there when you need them. A senior with a dozen eggs in the fridge is a senior who will never go hungry. Secret number 2, roast once, eat 3 times. When you bake 1 sweet potato, bake 2. When you cook a cup of rice, cook 2 cups. When you brown half a pound of turkey, brown the whole pound. Same pan, same time, same dish to wash. 3 meals from 1 cooking session. And here's the real gift. On those days when you're tired, when your back hurts, when the thought of standing at the stove just feels like too much, dinner is already in the fridge waiting for you. You didn't cook today. Your past self cooked for you. Secret number 3, the frozen vegetable hero. Listen carefully, because there's a myth I want to put to rest right now. Frozen vegetables are not lower quality than fresh vegetables. In fact, and this is from the Department of Agriculture,
frozen vegetables often have more nutrition because they're frozen at peak ripeness, hours after being picked. Fresh broccoli at the store costs $3 a bunch and goes bad in 4 days. A bag of frozen broccoli costs $1.50 and lasts 6 months. Same nutrition, often more, half the price, 12 times the shelf life.
If anybody ever tells you frozen vegetables are a compromise, they don't know what they're talking about. Secret number 4. Make friends with the sad vegetables. You know the ones I'm talking about. The wilted celery in the back of the fridge, the soft tomato, the bag of spinach starting to turn brown at the edges. Don't throw them out. Throw them in a pot. Add water, add an onion, add a clove of garlic, a pinch of salt. Simmer for 30 minutes. Boom. Soup. Costs you nothing. Those vegetables were going in the trash anyway. Tastes like you spent the whole afternoon in the kitchen. This is what our grandmothers did. They didn't throw food away because food was hard to come by. We forgot that. It's time to remember. Secret number 5. One small treat every week. Even on $5 a day, especially on $5 a day, give yourself one small treat every week. Maybe it's a really good piece of cheese. Maybe it's a chocolate bar you actually want. Maybe it's a nicer cup of coffee on Sunday morning. Whatever it is, budget for it. Plan for it. $2 or $3 set aside every single week just for joy. Because eating well isn't about deprivation. It's not about punishing yourself for being on a fixed income. It's about making smart choices. And one of those smart choices is reminding yourself that you deserve nice things. You work your whole life. A little treat on a Saturday isn't a failure. It's the whole point. Now I want to tell you about that mistake I mentioned at the beginning. The one that costs seniors hundreds of dollars a month, and most folks don't even realize they're making it. I made it for years. I made it without thinking. Here it is. The mistake is buying for the person you used to be. Let me explain. If you raised a family, you spent 30 or 40 years shopping for 4 people, maybe 5, maybe 6. You bought big bags, family-size roasts, 2 gallons of milk, giant boxes of cereal, Costco-sized everything. That's just how you shopped. It became muscle memory. But somewhere along the way, the kids moved out. Maybe a spouse passed. Maybe you got divorced. Or you simply found yourself living alone. The household changed. But the shopping habits, they didn't change. You're still buying that family-size roast, still buying the big bag of lettuce, still buying the gallon of milk. And then you watch, week after week, half of it goes bad. The lettuce wilts. The milk spoils on day 3. The roast sits in the fridge until you finally throw it out, feeling guilty.
For the average senior, this single habit, buying like you're still feeding a family, wastes between $80 and $150 a month. That's almost $1,000 a year going straight into the garbage. Here's the fix, and it's simple. For fresh items, produce, meat, dairy, bread, buy small, single servings, the smallest size they sell. You're cooking for one? Shop for one. For shelf-stable items, rice, oats, pasta, canned beans, buy bigger. Those last forever. They never go bad. And for everything in between, use the freezer. That loaf of bread you can only eat half of, freeze the other half. That whole chicken, carve it up and freeze portions. The freezer is the bridge between family size and single size. Once you change how you shop, you change how much you save, almost overnight. I wish someone had told me this 10 years ago, so I'm telling you now. Before we say goodbye today, I want to come back to something. Remember the woman I told you about at the beginning? The one who quietly asked the cashier to take the yogurt off her order? I think about her almost every day because she's not unusual.
There are millions of seniors in this country right now, doing math in the grocery store, making quiet little decisions about what to put back, trying not to make a fuss, trying not to be a burden. If that's you,
I want you to hear me clearly. You are not a burden. You are not invisible. And you are absolutely, completely worth a good meal every single day of your life. The truth is, eating well on $5 a day isn't about being poor. It isn't about cutting corners or giving things up. It's about being smart, resourceful. The same way our mothers and grandmothers were smart and resourceful when times were tight. They didn't call it a budget. They called it cooking. We're just remembering what they always knew. So here's what I want you to do this week. Sit down with a piece of paper. Write down the meal plan, or pause this video and screenshot the shopping list. Pick one day this week. Tuesday is good. And make that one shopping trip. One trip with a list. Try it for 1 week. I promise you, by next Sunday, you'll feel different. A little more in control. A little less worried. A little more proud of yourself. And that feeling is what this whole channel is about.
If something I said today helped you, the kindest thing you can do is leave a comment below. Tell me, and tell the other folks watching, what's the one meal you remember from your childhood? The one your mother or grandmother used to make when money was tight, but the kitchen still smelled like home. I read every single comment, and those stories, your stories, are what make this channel a community. If you're new here, you're welcome to subscribe so we can keep cooking together. And if you've been with me a while, thank you. Truly. You're the reason I keep showing up. Until next time, eat well, live well, be kind to yourself. You're not cooking for one. You're cooking for someone who matters.